but we do want to talk about marriage.
Let's switch sides.
No.
Let's switch sides because that's my favorite side.
Yeah, I know.
What we talking about today, y'all?
Elevate the sky. We're talking about Mr. Marcus Foy.
Talk about whatever you want.
So sorry about this that we have not put out a video. It's been a minute.
Longer than 60 seconds.
And being committed to your lifelong partner for many, many, many years. Forever and ever and ever. So yeah, let's get into it. We've been married for 4 years in December. Will be 4 years. And some of our struggles, because nowadays so many people getting divorced. I don't know, do you know what the divorce rate is?
I thought it was like 60%, right?
Something like that. Yeah, it's high.
60, 70%? I want to say.
Yeah, I'll have to Google it. But anyways, yeah.
That's you don't think so?
No, I think somewhere around there. Anyways, it's high.
Basically, we just want to let you guys know out there, it's not easy. None of this is easy. It's work. And in fact, the more, you build a covenant under God, the more the devil is going to attack. So Satan used all type of devices on me and her and the both of us. And
I think we were talking about, you texted me one day, like 3 things that you need. Like,
the 3 things you need.
One of them was communication, commitment. What was the other one?
And,
Christ, maybe?
God's first.
Yeah.
Jesus is the number one answer to all of these problems. It's about consideration.
Oh, that was it. That was it.
Yeah, it's about commitment.
Yes.
And it's about, what's the last one? Communication.
Yeah. I don't think that people communicate enough. Like, if something's bothering you, don't just hold it inside. Like, tell the other person. And also tell them in a way to be able to fix it. What?
It's work. I'm going to tell y'all, man. It's like, so the object of the game of marriage is to give up all selfish acts. Take care of your spouse. You're giving up yourself to take care of someone else, and they're giving up themselves to take care of someone else. If that makes sense.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, no, you go.
I was going to say, I think it gets hard sometimes because it's like maybe one person is doing that and the other person isn't. So it's like it has to be a mutual thing. It can't be like, one person is like giving, and the other person's just taking. And it's like, that's not going to work.
Yeah, and it's like you so used to being in your selfish ways, the things you do, the places you go, the stuff you eat, the way you move, the time you do all these things. It was all about you at one point, and all of that changes. Communication, commitment, and consideration.
Yep, that's it.
So all those things you did when you were single is out the window.
And I think also in the beginning of our marriage, like when we would fight or argue, I would just want to lock up and not talk about it. And I would be like, you know what? I'm not going to talk to him. Forget about him. And it's when you're married, it's now it's kind of if something's bothering me, I don't hold it inside. I just tell him, because eventually it's gonna come out in a nasty way, or it's just not helpful just to really keep it inside. Because literally, okay, guys, not all guys, but sometimes they really are clueless. They really don't know.
Right. And then as opposed to when you were single, you didn't have to run nothing by anybody. You could just do it, your thing, any given time, place. It doesn't matter. But everything has to go through her, my family, before I can make any type of move or any final decision. And that's just a respect.
Yeah, that's just consideration.
And that's having consideration, respect, and that's what the whole commitment is about, and the communication thing is about. Yeah. So I think that it's important to really let your spouse in on just about everything you do, because when I first met her, I was an open book. I told her everything. I laid everything on the table. All my cards were turned over. I wouldn't hide anything, because I didn't want to have to renege on anything. You know what I mean? Like the spade game, you know? I just was just honest.
If you feel some type of way, like, let it out. Tell the other person, because I see that a lot with, like, a lot of men, like, shut down. They don't want to, like, talk about their feelings or, like, and, like, that's one thing that Marcus is really good about. Like, he tells me, he says, like, oh, I was feeling like this because of this reason. Hey, Dolly. Hey, Ace.
Come on.
Like, I want to use this one example.
Come here.
Where I was, like, buying this stuff from Amazon, and he's like,
come here.
He just kept saying, like, oh, we're getting too much stuff in here, we're getting too much stuff in here. And then he told me, because I'll ask him, I'll be like, hey, do you like this for the house? And half the time he's like, I don't care, yeah, do what you want. So I do what I want, and then he, like, has something to say about it. And I'm like, that's, like, annoying. And so he was telling me, like, sometimes he just wants to feel like the boss. He just wants to feel, like, important. And I was like, I mean, that it was good that you told me that, because otherwise it's not even that you really cared about the stuff. It was just like you wanna have some kind of authority, like you still wanna. And I was like, I was appreciative that you told me that.
Right, and there's gonna always be there's gonna always be agree to disagree. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you can have a twin brother and a sister, and it doesn't matter, because you may be more athletic and I may be more focused on academics. And we may go different, separate ways. We may look exactly alike, maybe the same height and all, but we're totally different. This is a different person. This person, it might be my wife. She's a whole different person from me. So my attributes, my goals, my dreams, my aspirations, my passions, my desires are still different. And you have to, you people, you have to, out there, you have to really understand that, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the communication has to be open. Like, anything that I did before all of this, it was God and me. You know, that's it. Now it's God, her, and then me. You gotta honestly put yourself last. I know that sounds like a bit cliche, but it's real. That if you want to make a relationship last, a healthy relationship last, you have to really put yourself at the end of the line. You have to go to the end of the line. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're not fit for, you're not fit for a relationship. And this goes for like business relationship, friendship, spouse, being your own, having your own business, being your own CEO of your own business. All this stuff come into play. This is what's building your character because of the trials and tribulations you had in life before all this came about. So all the things you did in life is basically shaping and building and molding your character to be able to be in a position to be married and be considerate and be committed and have communication and be willing to give it all up for the family.
And I would say too, like at the same time, you can't expect. I think a lot of people go into relationships expecting the other person to make them happy. You still have to be responsible for your own happiness. You can't. I can't depend on him to make or break my day. Like that's still up to me. And so I think that's like something really important too. Like just try and like stay positive yourself. And
right, you can't depend on anybody else to make you happy. You can't depend on the bank with all your money. You can't depend on your nice car, your nice house. You can't depend on your nice clothes. You can't depend on your nice shoes. You can't depend on anybody to make you happy but yourself. Like, so if you ain't happy, it's because you ain't happy. It ain't her job to make me happy. It ain't my daughter's job to make me happy. It's my job to make me happy.
We watch a lot of Married at First Sight. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Married at First Sight.
We love that show. It's so good. Because we sit there and we like talk about it. It's actually really good. And one of the things one of the therapists said was, in a marriage, there's all kinds of different emotions. Sometimes you may not like your spouse. Sometimes you may be head over heels for your spouse. Like it's a constant up and down. So I think just like knowing that, like, and like coming back to like commitment, that you made the commitment, kind of like trying to work things out, trying to see it through, I think is really important.
And so a lot of times some people don't feel butterflies in the beginning when they meet someone, or they don't feel the sparks, and it honestly, it's not really. It could be about that, but in the end, it won't be about that because all that stuff fades. Like to some degree, so to some degree, it fades.
And maybe for some people, you know, they have different experiences.
Right. And the thing is, you want to honestly, what you want to get out of having a spouse in a marriage, you want to get out having a best friend. You want a spouse to become like a best friend. I'm being honest with you. When you find that person that becomes your best friend, that's most likely gonna be your soulmate. That's all you really need because that's gonna sustain and maintain this relationship forevermore. And it's gonna keep going and going. And it's gonna grow. But you never take God out of the equation. Never take God out of the equation. Because once you start doing that, then you start falling. You know, so people got to remember that because that's number one. Yep. You know, you got to, because I thank God every day for giving me, you know, and if I haven't thank him today, I'm going to thank him today. Like, I thank God for giving me, you know, such a beautiful family because honestly, you can't buy that. No, she reminded me, like, you can't buy that.
Yeah, it's crazy because you see like really successful people, like men and women, and it's like it's not something that you can just go to the grocery store, pick out, and have. And it's something really special, and I think it's something like to really cherish. Like it really should come first, and like be nice to the people, treat the people well that like stay with you. Like
you can't go. And we have our days, we have our moments. So trust me,
we do.
We have our days and our moments, but you can't. It's not like you can go shopping for this or that. Oh, I want this, that. You can't. That won't work. That's never gonna happen. And if you do find it, it won't last. Trust me, it won't last. Yeah. You know, it's like it's a human you're dealing with. It's not like you can go to the store and buy a human being. Oh, hey, let me buy a plant. No, you can't do that. That's not how this goes. You know, and at the end of the day, just be thankful for what you have and. You know, thank God every day for it, and know that God wakes you up, give you the physicality, the mental capacity, and everything you need to compete with this world we're living in. And when I say compete, it's just like do your best every day, be better than yesterday. That's what I mean.
Oh, and I also want to say, don't sweat the small stuff because I see so many people like get upset over like petty little things, like oh, this person keeps leaving their shoes out. And one lady I saw on like Facebook one time, she posted a thing like how her husband is always leaving his towel all over, and she was just like, she thought to herself, she's like, what if someday he wasn't here to leave his towel out? And it's like people are so much more important than these little things. Like
you guys are so important.
Even though it may get on your nerves at the time.
When it comes to being on earth, the most important thing is you and me. That's the only thing that's important, people. You gotta love people. You gotta provide unconditional love. You gotta you gotta pray for people. You gotta understand people, and you gotta don't expect people to be perfect. Because you can depend on a human to let you down, because that's what we're here for, to build our character and make it to the kingdom one day. Yeah.